Welcome to Horror News Radio for January 23rd, 2024. Join us for Horror News of the Week about big bad werewolf movies, Until Dawn, adaptations, and another visit to Jurassic World. All this and more coming up next. I am your host, Doc Rotten, and this is H&R, the official Gruesome Magazine, ladies and gentlemen, horror news podcast.
We're a mineral now.
Magnesium. Back with me again this week are the scariest, goriest, bloodiest co-hosts on the net, and that means Dave Dreher, lead news writer at Gruesome Magazine. Dave, how you doing, sir?
Hi, Doc.
Hi.
I'm good. How are you?
Need some magnesium? Dyslexia is a terrible thing. All right. I'm excited. We have some interesting news for this week. No real big trailer announcements, really. I imagine they'll be coming soon as more things get announced and shown. But we do have some films, upcoming films being announced, directors being attached to them, and other news involved. Are you excited to get going on this?
I am. I think we've got some truly interesting things to talk about this week.
I hope so. Of course, we just want to say real quick before we get started, we hope you enjoy our news segments and check the others out on the site. And we also have reviews for Gruesome Magazine and a variety of decades of horrors, which cover the classic era, which is up through the 1960s. We have the 1970s decades of horror, and we have 1980s decades of horror, where we revisit those classics from those eras. Check them out. And if you like what you see, please hit the like, subscribe, share with a friend buttons. Every click will help us find more horror fans just like you. Right, Dave?
That's it. Each and every click adds us one more fan.
One more. All right. Didn't quite work out that way, but yes. All right. That's the first news item is the Werewolf film that I hinted at in the beginning. This is the Chandler Baker short story, Big Bad. And we learned that Lionsgate has hired Chris Landon, who has exited recently the Scream 7.
Yep, that was it. That's the one.
Scream 7 is now attached to direct this. This is the first thing he's been associated with it since then. What do we think about this? What do we think about Big Bad? You've read the story, I take it?
No, I have not read this. This actually came out as part of a collection of short stories that Amazon did just for their Amazon. I can't remember what they call what's their service, their reading service. It's not Kindle. Anyway, they have a thing where you can go on and like read basically or listen to any book ever created. But these stories were developed just for their service. It got my attention because Joe Hill had a story called Pram that I definitely wanted to read, but it's only available through this service. And I've already subscribed to like 3 other services. So I'm like, I ain't subscribing to this for one story. But this Chandler Baker story, Big Bad, was part of that collection of, I think, 6 or 7 titles. So this is exciting to hear, though. I've heard good things about it. From what I understand, it's a werewolf tale, but with a twist. And it's always a good thing, I think. I don't think it's your standard transformation type of werewolf type thing. They've Chandler's kind of done her own thing with this one.
Well, I have faith in Chris Landon. I think he'll create a great werewolf. You have the synopsis in hand. You want to give us a little idea of what the story is about?
I do. As soon as I find it, here it is. So the story tells the tale of the Strauss family. Sam is a resentful stay-at-home dad. Rachel, who I'm assuming is the wife, feels restlessness in her blood returning. I have a feeling that's a hint of what
that is a hint, is it not? Okay.
Their children are getting out of hand, and a recent mudslide has forced the wolves out of the woods to look for food. As dusk falls and tensions rise, the family must come together to survive the night from the threats outside and those within.
And those within.
Yes. And if you look at the cover of the book, which I believe you're showing on the screen, Doc. I don't know.
I am.
Yeah. You got the obvious female hand with the wedding ring and the clawy fingers Come on, guys, put 2 and 2 together.
Rachel. Of course, we know nothing about the cast or any details other than the fact that Chris Landon is going to direct. We've been on Gruesome Magazine, we've been like wishing for new werewolf films. So they've been announced left and right here recently, and this being another one. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think this will be good, and we certainly like Chris Landon's work. The fact that he bowed out of Scream 7 was kind of a bummer, but to step right into this, liking it. All
right, for those who horror gaming fans who like Until Dawn, Shazam director David Sandberg is returning to horror, adapting this PlayStation game to the big screen, along with Gary Dauberman, who is the writer behind It, Annabelle, The Nun, and it's based on a script from a first pass script from Blair Butler. If you remember, she recently did the script for The Invitation, that vampire Dracula movie that came out a summer or so ago. This has all the ingredients for a successful adaptation. What do you think? I'm not familiar with the game, I have to say.
I actually have the game on my PlayStation. I've never played it.
Look at you!
It's kind of, well, I mean, I purchased it. I didn't actually purchase it. It comes as part of their PlayStation Plus thing. It's just there. You can play it anytime you want, and I never have. But the poster art, which we're seeing here, is rather iconic, and I know a lot of people are aware of this. It's one of those games that was recommended to me when they found out I had attempted to enter the world of gaming. Everyone was like, you gotta play this. We forgot to mention too, Gary Dauberman. He's still got Salem's Lot that's like in the can.
That's right.
Just sitting on a shelf doing nothing. So
waiting for the opportunity to be released.
Yeah. So it'd be nice if we could see something with that. But from what I do know of this game, it kind of tells the tale of a group of folks who go into a cabin, and they have to face these different life or death scenarios that keep popping up for some mysterious reason. I know there's a killer. There's some kind of a Wendigo. It has something to do with a cave.
Cable car, and
yeah, all kinds of weird stuff going on. The fact that this is coming at us might actually make me have to just go ahead and load the damn game and see what it's all about.
Yeah,
and I'm glad to see Sandberg coming back to horror. It's not that I wasn't a fan of the Shazam movies; they were okay, but I think Sandberg definitely kind of had his fate sealed as a horror director since Lights Out. So it'll be nice to see him coming back home.
It will be nice to see him. I'm sure he's been stuck in superhero land, and I imagine with all the DC shenanigans going on, it probably wasn't a great experience toward the end. That's subjective, but I'm happy that he's back in horror because I think he's a great director. He's definitely proved himself, and he can prove that he's handled both small and large adaptations. So looking forward to this. The game again was released originally in 2015, like you said, and
it's been around a while. I mean, that was like probably a PlayStation 2 or 3 game.
I don't know.
I just remember the cover art there for a while. The cover art of games was a lot like we remember of cover arts of VHSs, and some of those, some of that packaging was kind of iconic, and that's one of those. At least for me, it was.
Well, the video adaptations have been improving lately. For
sure. They've been making big bucks. I mean,
yep.
The Last of Us did wonders for that. And then what else have we had recently? There's been a couple.
Well, in the non-horror thing, Mario did real well, and Sonic and stuff like that. They've been doing much better, making quality entertainment instead of kind of, weak.
Yeah,
tall ones. So I'm looking forward to it. Up next, well, do you like your dinosaurs? You like Jurassic Park and Jurassic World? Are you ready for some more of it?
I'm kind of surprised to hear we're in for more of it. But again, I don't know that there is such a thing as too much T-Rex.
There's never too much T-Rex.
And I'm actually kind of excited because from the way this sounds, is they're going to kind of go in a totally different direction. This is going to be in the Jurassic World or Jurassic Park universe, but we're not going to be visiting anything to do with the Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard people or any of the originals. This is going to be its own story set in the world of dinosaurs are back.
Bringing a new group to the forefront. The important thing about this is that David Koepp is writing or has already written, from what I understand, the script, and it is getting very positive remarks on the insides and is ready to be fast-tracked, and they're eyeing a 2025 release. That's insane. Of course, he was behind the original Jurassic Park screenplay and the Lost World sequel. And he recently is responsible for the David Soderbergh ghost story Presence, which is this week getting high praise from Sundance Film Festival. And that story is about a ghost. It's a ghost story where it's from the POV of the ghost. And Soderbergh likes to do those interesting twists on things. So I can imagine that's being an amazing thing.
Yeah, I mean, Koepp is an amazing screenwriter. I mean, he's kind of iconic. He really is. I mean, he's been in the Mission Impossible franchise. He's been in the Spider-Man franchise. He's been in the Indiana Jones franchise. Jurassic World.
We won't hold the Indiana Jones against him. He did the Crystal Skull. We won't hold that against him.
Yeah, I think he did the last one too, didn't he? I believe he did the Dollar Death too, I believe. Yeah. So, but the man knows his business. Let's put it that way. So. Yeah, I think this is all good. A little concerned about the quick turnaround. I don't know what that's all about. That's awfully fast.
We'll see. I think that's a promise that is hard to keep. But I'm all for it.
Bring it on.
I know that the Jurassic Worlds have have their lovers and their haters, but I just want more dinosaurs.
Yeah,
and if it's moving,
even the worst Jurassic Park or Jurassic World movie is far better than a lot of the other crap that's out there. So bring it.
And the fact that they're moving on to a new group of people sounds good too. And I imagine it's set in the same world. So we're going to, it's going to have it kind of on, that they're free and roaming the planet, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I don't know, Doc. I think we need to pitch a team of Weekend Warrior podcasters are chased by dinosaurs.
Nice.
I mean,
it would be a short movie because we just get it, but I like that idea. Moving on to sadder news. Are you a fan of Dawn of the Dead and Flyboy? I think we all are, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say who wouldn't be? Certainly. One of, if not the most iconic characters in the George Romero pantheon.
Yes, and of course, his zombie is also the zombie version of it is also very iconic as well. And he's been, lately on the convention front, but we have the sad news that he has passed. But he is fondly remembered by all horror fans. Dave, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. David Emge was again iconic in that role. He didn't do a lot of films. He had a pretty brief acting career, but he was instantly recognizable. He just was, and he had been doing some of the conventions of late. But he was 77 years old. Died on the 20th. In I'm assuming his hometown of Evansville, Indiana. They're saying a cause of death was not disclosed, but like I said, it was certain. Of course, Tom, of course, was responsible for the makeup that made him iconic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, his input into the genre it forever changed the genre. It really did.
Mm-hmm. He'll be forever remembered for that role, among others. Tim.
Absolutely.
Sorry for his passing.
Yeah, we always hate these kind of stories. We just hate to see an icon pass, but it happens. So rest in peace, Mr. Emge.
Very much so. Moving from you mentioned Tom Savini, moving from Savini to Greg Nicotero, who is another effects artist that we appreciate, who's been doing a lot of crazy stuff in the production directing world since his involvement with The Walking Dead, is now associated with SWAN Song. He's set to produce and direct a pilot for this. It's going to be a series based on this novel from Robert McCammon. I'm not familiar with it, but you are, Dave.
Oh yeah, when this came out in the mid '80s, it was after The Stand came out, and everyone instantly started drawing parallels because this was another huge novel, and it was it spanned the whole country, dozens of characters, and it was very much in the tone of The Stand. But Robert McCammon writes way differently than Stephen King did or does. But it's still, the novel became iconic. And so it's really kind of hard to believe that this has never even been attempted to be adapted. It's kind of weird, actually, to think about the fact that all these years and no one's even tried to go there. But it might have a lot to do with the fact that it is so huge. And the basic story, I mean, The Stand, of course, was virus. This is a nuclear showdown, completely wipes America off the map, and then of course the remaining people are left to attempt to survive in this wasteland. And now there are rather interesting creatures that abound as they attempt to survive. So this could be huge. I mean, the novel itself actually ended up winning the Bram Stoker Award that year, actually beating out Stephen King's release of that year, which was Misery. So
Yeah,
I mean, that's how well it was received. So yeah, I mean, I think this is great news. Of course, casting and everything is going to be key to this. Hopefully, it spurs some interest in the story, and people go out and buy the book and visit it, and know what they're walking into.
Yeah, and Greg Nicotero, I've seen that he directed more than 40 episodes of The Walking Dead during its 12-year run, and has directed the season 2 of Daryl Dixon.
Yeah, the Norman Reedus thing. Yeah. So he's definitely got the directing chops now. When this story first broke a couple days ago, it really wasn't clear that it was going to be a series. There was some people thought maybe it was going to be more of a film or a series of films, but the latest updated news seems to imply that it's going to be a series. Like you said, Doc, with them saying he's going to direct the pilot, so obviously that. And one would assume, right, it's probably going to be for Shudder since he has a home there already.
It could be, or it doesn't say. Monster Agency Productions is teaming up with them to do an action genre series. They specify series in the Deadline article.
Yeah.
Right. Based on the horror novel. But yeah, where it's going, I imagine they'll be shopping that around, or they just haven't shared where. But it could be AMC, it could be Shudder, it could be.
Well, they're all the same. I mean, AMC
could be FX. Could be FX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's exciting. Well, it'll be fun to watch this one ramp up. And Doc, you need to go buy the book and read it so you know what it's about.
Do I? Okay.
You do. Yeah.
I might have to
get the audiobook. At least get the audiobook.
I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. That's our news for tonight. Rest in peace, David Emge. We have news about the big bad Until Dawn. Jurassic World is returning, and of course, Swan Song we just did now. So we hope you enjoyed this. Let us know which film of those 4 are you looking for, or series are you looking forward to the most. I would love to hear that. Leave your comments down below. Good news. We'll see you next week with more. Dave, sir.
Yes, Doc. Yes, Doc.
Thank you for joining me.
Oh, of course. Thank you. Always enjoy these little forays into the headlines.
All right. Well, let's go. Let's say good night.
Good night.